marketing at its core is all about motivating others to take action, right? So what we're really talking about here as it relates to innovation is really creating environments where employees are motivated to innovate, right? And we know from experience that's really hard to do. So when I think about innovation and the stubborn challenges that we all face, I'm reminded of the African proverb that says, if you want to go far, we need to go together. So I have an invitation for you. I have an invitation for all of us to consider creating environments that are engaging, where employees are compelled to innovate. And these climates, as we're going to see in a few minutes, could be brain-friendly. We could apply some neuroscience and insights from brain research to actually create ease and encourage employees to innovate. But before we get started, I have a very interesting question for all of you. Imagine you're the chief marketing officer of a well-established organization in Southern California, and you're going through the 2018 budget proposal and presentations, and you come across a decision that you have to make. You can either invest and allocate $1.5 million in a speculative project with no clear ROI. The second choice you have, you can invest in a mature brand, clear payback in less than 2 years, and a well-established ROI. So my question to you, I'll let you guys think about it for a few seconds. How likely are you to invest in a speculative project? 1, not likely. Some of you marketing folks may be somewhat likely or very likely. Think about it for a few seconds. So let me see the hands of those of you who are not likely to invest in this project. Okay. Okay. How about those of you that are somewhat likely? Okay, great. How about those of you that are very likely? Okay. I don't know if you guys were most of you were in the middle. Actually, what we witness is what goes on in corporate boardrooms across the US. How might we leverage insights from neuroscience and brain science? We all know that there's been a lot of research done on brain. So how can we use that research to cultivate innovation and a culture of creativity at the organization? And what we found that actually the disciplines of culture, innovation, and brain science, they don't necessarily talk to each other that often. So we wanted to, through the process of association, to find if there are any connections between these three disciplines. And more so, we were interested to see if insights from brain science could help us with these devastating facts. This is based off a research that was done by Accenture in 2016, which shows that the statistics on innovation are, in fact, getting worse. As you can see, 72% of companies miss opportunities to exploit underdeveloped markets and areas. They have what's called a Kodak moment or a blockbuster moment. More so, 67% of companies are risk averse in today's environment. 60% of organizations say that they fail to learn from mistakes. So the question we ask is, how can neuroscience help with these stats? Secondly, I love this slide here. The nature of work has changed. Are we going to see in a case study from Volvo in a few minutes? Volvo is going from a hierarchical structure to a team structure to now a network of teams where they have to constantly interact with internal and external partners, right? So how can we infuse innovation in network of teams? So we talked about a two-phase approach, a two-phase process. Step 1, tackle climate before culture. Step number 2, use some brain principles that we call ease to create brain-friendly cultures and climates. So basically, from a brain science perspective, cultures are created to avoid uncertainty. And you guys are going to like this. So also, cultures are also created to avoid social pain. Imagine you guys walk into this room, right? You guys, most of you, I assume, want to look good. You want to avoid a sense of embarrassment. You don't want to come across as clumsy or someone who makes mistakes. So that's what, mostly from a brain perspective, that's why cultures are formed. as you guys know, culture is the #1 barrier to innovation, right? So what we're here to advocate is to start thinking about creating innovative climates before innovative cultures. So what are climates? These are the transitional spaces where employees are given resources and tools to be innovative. As we're going to see in a few minutes, in the case of Pfizer and Intuit, a core group of innovation champions and innovation catalysts are encouraged to embrace an innovative mindset. And so therefore, they're able to experiment and take thoughtful risk, and over time build a track record around innovation. If they're successful in maintaining and sustaining those practices over time, they can become part of the cultural DNA and the identity of the organization. You guys follow me so far? Okay, good. So how do we create these innovative climates? There are multiple approaches. I'm sure you guys know at least a dozen of them. Here we've selected 4. We call them empathize, associate, synergize, and engage. We call them E's. So we're going to go through them one by one. Empathy is, I see it as a starting point to see someone else's point of view and to help others get our point across, also to put ourselves in other people's shoes. So, so from a brain perspective, this is a key to get the emotional connection with the folks, with our customers. And actually what empathy does is really allow us to accurately frame the problems and challenges that our customers and clients are facing. An organization that's trying to scale empathy throughout their organization is Pfizer. I had the pleasure of meeting Dan Seawald late last year, who is the architect of a program called Dare to Try, which is now becoming a brand at Pfizer. And what they're trying to do is through the innovation framework, which consists of a series of training sessions, tools, behavioral expectations, as well as a network of champions, innovation champions. They're trying to create a climate of innovation at Pfizer. So through the network of about 500 innovation champions, as you guys saw earlier, 67% of organizations are risk averse. So what these champions are responsible for is to help employees get over that fear factor, take thoughtful risk, and be able to experiment. Through their global pharma program, they've been able to do 80 to 100 experiments and projects so far. Let's talk about associates. As I was looking at the literature on brain science, I was amazed to see that when we try to make connections between 2 seemingly dissimilar ideas and concepts, which is called association, we activate the creative regions of our brain. A lot of organizations are challenged with applying the same old solutions to the same old problems. Right? So what some innovative organizations are doing are constantly exposing their employees to unconventional ideas and approaches in order to stimulate novel thinking and creativity. One such organization is Intuit, who's been successful to create a network of innovation catalysts. There are about 500 innovation catalysts across Intuit doing association. They're constantly bringing together multiple departments, multiple functions, within Intuit, and now they're also doing it with their customers, again, to provide opportunities for the connection and association. So they're focusing on social connections and also using this as an employee engagement tool and a recruitment tool. So we heard about empathize, associate. Let's talk about synergize. Most innovative ideas are dismissed because they compete with an existing corporate priority, agenda, or mandate, right? Like what the Wall Street wants, what shareholders expect, right? So our brain processes about 200 bits of information every second. And very much like what this picture shows, it tries to put the pieces of the puzzle together. If it thinks a piece does not belong there, it rejects it. Sadly, that very piece that it rejects could be the next Netflix. As you know, the idea of Netflix was presented to the Blockbuster board, and it was rejected because it was competing with how Blockbuster made money at the time. right? So a lot of organizations now are conscious of helping employees manage priorities and tensions rather than avoid it. One such organization that's successfully doing this is Volvo. Very much like Farmers Insurance, been around for 90 years. They're on a digital transformation journey, going from product silos and multi-year innovation cycle to cutting through specialization and shortening the innovation pace. Interestingly about this program is they're consciously building an org design called the Connectivity Hub, which is a cross-functional team for connected cars, and their sole purpose is to orchestrate an internal debate within Volvo to talk about the competing priorities and to spearhead digital transformation across Volvo. So they were able to, by doing that, keep their focus tight and have some quick wins. They will also try to manage another corporate priority where most organizations go wrong, and that's managing, balancing flexibility and control. So through another hub or climate called the App Development Hub, they're doing a great job adding more value and collaborating better with partners like Spotify and Pandora. So at the core of their innovation strategy is a notion of synergy and infusing innovation with a network of teams, both internally and externally. Let's talk about engage. Our sense of identity, our value systems, principles, values, as well as our political identity is hardwired in our brain. That's why when we hear something that is contrary to our core identity, we get triggered. So some organizations realize that not every employee innovates alike. In fact, they have many personality types. Some employees are good at generating ideas. Others are good at influencing. Some are visualizers. Some simply like to support the innovation process. There's an interesting company in Silicon Valley. Unfortunately, we haven't been given permission to mention the name. They're about $3 billion, 10,000 employees. They're into bioscience. So they're profiling their employees on how they like to innovate. They've done profiling 250. Employees are about to do the same with additional 1,000, with the goal of really understanding their innovative skills of their employees as well as their profiles and matching it to the type of innovation challenges that they're trying to solve for. They're also using it in recruitment, try to understand the new employee motivation around innovation. In summary, guys, innovation doesn't have to be hard. By putting climate before culture, by creating innovative climates using some brain principles like ease, you can be well on your way to your innovative climate.